Hi everyone, Artie Tambarambaa here, also known as Tammy Porter, and look at this cute little art journal page we're going to create today using Art by Marlene goodies. So I'll take you through what I've used. I've got the new luxury paper elements, the birdy ones. I've got the little white journal, so there was a large and a small in this, and I use this to put all my animal pages in. So we're going to do some birds, so they'll go in there. I've used some brushes. I've used the bold words stamp set. This is awesome for the words and the background stamping. And then I've used loads of colours. I used black and white, lace and pitch, and I also used happy, hot curry, funky, ballet and peony, and then I've also used mermaid, breeze and punk, which is the neon purple, and of course the sticky glue. So let's get started with the page. So I just open up to the my next blank page, and I decide I'm going to use these gorgeous little, sort of like a little canary budgie with feathers on his head, and I'd used just that image. I decided to go with the bigger one, and I just drew inspiration from his feathers and the colours in it. And as you'll see, when you do that and you use your focal point to pick out your colours, you end up with a gorgeously vibrant page that just works and fits together. The only thing is I find you need to add some sort of contrast so it doesn't get lost. So for this I've used black, the pitch paint, and to the hot curry paint I did add a touch of white, as you can see there as well. So this is something I did a while ago, one of Marlene's little luxury paper elements. It was when it was the men, and one had these crazy sort of checkered pants on, and I had so much fun creating the background, and I thought, gosh, I haven't done that for so long, let's play with that. So simply with this book, it has sort of got slightly glossy pages. Now people always ask me if I gesso. For this I haven't gessoed, I've just put acrylic paint straight down. So I began with happy, and I did some wider brush marks, and I don't really have a plan at this point. I'm just doing lines and sort of grids and using all the colours that I've selected, and some I make some thin and I make some thick, and that's basically all I do, and I just keep going and going. This is the bit that makes it pop, I think, when I used the ballet, and I did add a little touch of white to that one as well. And you're sort of hard to know, you think, oh, should I do thicker or should I do more lines in that colour? But it always comes together, so just enjoy the process. So then I'm using a really thick brush, a wide brush I should say, to pop down the funky, and that really tied it all together. I was really happy with that. And then I'm using funky now, so just a thin line. At this point I was thinking, oh, I should have put more yellow in. I've taken most of the yellow away. That's very pink and purple, but it actually all turns out beautifully. I really love it, so don't stress too much. I did feel that I loved the mermaid in there, the aqua, but I wanted a little touch more of something similar colour. So from the feathers I thought, oh, I can see a bit of like a minty green, which is breeze, so I'm adding that in as well. And then I just do a couple more lines with mermaid, and that helped just knock back some of that pink and purple and give a bit more contrast. So I love doing this technique, and I love how you can still see the white through it, and that's really important when you're using loads of colour, that you have a little bit of white to help it all pop. So now I wanted to use all the background stamps that are in that bold words stamp set. So I put some paper down underneath so I didn't stamp through onto other pages by mistake, and now I'm just stamping. So I started with little diamonds that are in there, and I wanted them to all look like they're coming off the edge. So this is where I add lots of grunge, but it needs to look connected. So it's good to have it all the way around the edge, making sure some is hanging off the page, coming off, and that just adds to that real grungy look of the page. So I'm then grabbing, there's an amazing like colour wheel. I love it. The circle with the wedges in it. And I stamp that repeatedly, and you'll notice that I'm stamping on top of where I've already gone. So I'm keeping clusters together and putting circles right next to each other, and that just helps the eye travel through the page. And then I just used my finger to rub some black paint around the edge, and I filled in a couple of little gaps just to make it a bit more grungy, and I did some splatters of black as well. And now it's time to stick the little birdie down, and then I can work on my title. So I grabbed the large word art and stamped that on the right hand side just with black ink that I've been using to do the stamping. And then I came in with a black pen and wrote let your out, so it's let your art out. So the art bit is the feature, and I did fill in a couple of those splatters because they had dried a bit pale, like not a really strong black, so I went over some of those with the black pen as well, and just remembered to go around the border of the little birdie at the bottom so he was connected to the page. And I think that was it. I think I might have added a couple more. Oh no, here I go, adding a bit of a shadow. So I'm using a Stabilo All and I'm activating it and creating a shadow. Sometimes this is hard with these glossy paper elements, so sometimes I come in with a little bit of acrylic paint as well, and you see me doing that here. I'm just creating that shadow on the right hand side, and a little bit around him, just not all everywhere. And then I think I decided I needed a couple of bit more stamping just to connect that centre bit. I wasn't happy with how that had finished, and just I think I forgot to mention that in the background stamping set there's also little dots and little stars that you'll probably see here in the close-ups, and they look amazing all together with the diamonds and the pie chart. Love it. So I'll leave you with all the close-ups. And just because I haven't said it for a while, thanks so much for being here. I absolutely love hearing from you. So I would love you to subscribe, and I'd love you to leave me a comment so I know you popped in.